Howdy everybody, welcome back to another Reading with Rick. Today we're going to be diving into one of my favorite short stories of all time. We're going to read a little bit more than we usually would, actually 2 or 3 pages, and it is out of Edwidge Danticat's Krak short story collection. The whole collection is a wonderful example of what I've talked about on here of a window into other cultures and other places, other people's lives. But this particular story is titled Between the Pool and the Gardenias, and I'm going to jump right into it. She was very pretty, bright shiny hair and dark brown skin like mahogany cocoa. Her lips were wide and purple like those African dolls you see in tourist store windows but can never afford to buy. I thought she was a gift from heaven when I saw her on the dusty curb, wrapped in a small pink blanket, a few inches away from a sewer as open as a hungry child's yawn. She was like baby Moses in the Bible stories they read to us at the Baptist literary class, or baby Jesus who was born in a barn and died on a cross, with nobody's lips to kiss before he went. She was just like that, her still round face, her eyes closed as though she was dreaming of a far other place. Her hands were bony, and there were veins so close to the surface that it looked like you could rupture her skin if you touched her too hard. She probably belonged to someone, but the street had no one in it. There was no one there to claim her. At first I was afraid to touch her, lest I might disturb the early morning sun rays streaming across her forehead. She might have been some kind of wonga, a charm sent to trap me. My enemies were many and crafty, the girls who slept with my husband while I was still grieving over my miscarriages. They might have sent that vision of loveliness to blind me, so that I would never find my way back to the place that I yanked out of my head when I got on that broken down minibus and left my village months ago. The child was wearing an embroidered little blue dress with the letters R-O-S-E on a butterfly collar. She looked the way that I had imagined all my little girls would look, the ones my body could never hold, the ones that somehow got suffocated inside me and made my husband wonder if I was killing them on purpose. I called out all the names I wanted to give them: Eveline, Josephine, Jacqueline, Hermione, Mary Magdalene, Cillian. I could give her all the clothes that I had sewn for them, all these little dresses that went unused. At night, I could rock her alone in the hush of my room, rest her on my belly, and wish she were inside. When I had just come to the city, I saw on Madam's television that a lot of poor city women throw out their babies because they can't afford to feed them. Back in Villa Rose, you cannot even throw out the bloody clumps that shoot out of your body after your child is born. It is a crime, they say, and your whole family would consider you wicked if you did it. You have to save every piece of flesh and give it a name and bury it near the roots of a tree so that the world won't fall apart around you. In the city, I hear they throw out the whole entire children. They throw out whole entire children. They throw them out anywhere, on doorsteps, in garbage cans, at gas pumps, sidewalks. In the time that I had been in Port-au-Prince, I had never seen such a child until now. But Rose, she was so clean and warm, like a tiny angel, a little cherub, sleeping after the wind had blown a lullaby into her little ears. I picked her up and pressed her cheek against mine. I whispered to her, "Little Rose, my child," as though that name was a secret. So, this story to me, it's one of those stories that dives into not only the beauty of life, but also it's partially the beauty of death, but then again, just you begin to see as the story goes on. So this is an abandoned child that is, this child is not alive, just in case you didn't pick up on that. It becomes obvious later on as it begins to deteriorate. So we get to see that ugly side of life as well. And it's a direct, it's a result of kind of the hardships and the, like she said, they couldn't afford to feed the children, so they're just abandoning them in places. But what I really like about this story is sometimes, the reason I'm doing this channel is to try to spark others people interest in literature and reading and writing. It's given me so much. I want to give that gift to others if I can. And I feel like I've talked before, like I feel like it's something we've really fallen away from as a culture, as a society. And stories like this remind me that no matter how advanced and fancy film may get, and all these other mediums, you know, video games, whatever, the latest social media platforms. Examples like this show that there's a lot you can only do in text. There's a lot you can only do on the page. I don't know if this story would work in a film. I don't know if people would like it. I don't know if it might be too much. But on the page, especially Edwidge Danticat, props to her. Amazing piece. Just, it takes that kind of craft to be able to show both the beauty and the horror of life. Just right, both, like we've talked about before, both sides of that coin. And so I really look up to this piece. I encourage you all to pick up the book. The whole book's great, like I said, but you also may be able to find the story online somewhere. It is, again, called Between the Pool and the Gardenias. Highly recommend. And I guess I would just also say, we are in a time where people's sensitivities vary. You don't know what's going to turn people off. You don't know what people are going to enjoy. It's hard to always try to straddle the line and satisfy everybody. And the bottom line is, you're not going to satisfy everybody. I know there's some people that will read this or hear this and be disgusted by it. Because, I mean, you literally have someone kind of hiding away a dead child, a dead baby, and taking care of it. She ends up trying to, like, cover the smell with perfume and stuff. But, I mean, obviously that's not going to last. And so there's some people that, you know, like me, this, like, it's just so out there that it just immediately struck me as something moving, something unique. But of course, you're not going to satisfy everybody. So examples like this, I challenge all of you writers, all of you artists out there to push the envelope a little bit. And don't be afraid to go in a direction that you think it might really offend others or something, because you might be missing out on something beautiful in the process. So thanks for joining. Krik, Krak, Edwidge Danticat. Great piece of literature. God loves you. I love you. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. Peace.